Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama dies at 68. Hong Kong's new national security bill includes stiff penalties. Mass kidnappings of Nigerian students. Australia's Great Barrier Reef hit by fifth mass bleaching. Ecuador extends its state of emergency by 30 days. Humanoid robot startup Figure AI valued at $2.6 billion.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, March 11th, and here are your top stories. Akira Toriyama, one of the most influential and best-selling manga authors of all time, has passed away. He was 68. Toriyama production company Bird Studio said, streaming a statement on Friday, that he died March 1st of a blood clot in his brain. A funeral service had been held with only his family and a few relatives. The Japanese author is best known as the creator of the popular Dragon Ball manga series, which has fans across the world and spawned a well-known anime series, video games, and films. The manga series first debuted in 1984, depicting the story of a boy named Son Goku who is on a quest to collect magical Dragon Balls to protect Earth from alien humanoids called Saiyans.
In 1989, it was adapted into an anime and soon became one of the most globally recognized pieces of Japanese media. It has sold 260 million copies altogether, according to his studio. Toriyama worked for 45 years and still had unfinished work at the time of his death. He was a source of inspiration to many renowned Japanese comic book artists, such as Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of the popular series Naruto, and Eiichiro Oda, the creator of one of the longest-running animes, One Piece. Many in Japan and from around the world paid tribute to Toriyama on Friday. In a news briefing, Japan's chief cabinet secretary, Yoshimasa Hayashi, said the government was deeply saddened by the news and offered his condolences to the late author's family.
Hong Kong unveiled a new national security bill Friday that proposes up to life imprisonment for offenses like treason and insurrection, a move deepening worries over future erosion of the Chinese territory's freedoms after Beijing imposed a similar law 4 years ago that all but wiped out dissent. The proposed law will expand the government's power in stamping out future challenges to its rule, targeting espionage, external interference, and protection of state secrets, among others. Stiffer penalties were also suggested for sedition.
Under a push by Hong Kong leader John Lido finished the legislative process at full speed. Lawmakers are set to begin their debate Friday in a meeting that was specially arranged to expedite it. The bill is expected to pass easily, possibly in weeks, in a legislature packed with Beijing loyalists following an electoral overhaul. Critics have warned the legislation will make Hong Kong's legal framework increasingly similar to that of mainland China and add to a decline in civil liberties that were promised to remain intact for 50 years when the former British colony returned to Chinese rule in 1997. However, the government pointed to the massive anti-government protests that rocked the city in 2019 to justify its necessity, insisting it would only affect an extremely small minority of disloyal residents.
Gunmen attacked a school in Nigeria's northwest region Thursday and abducted at least 287 students, the head teacher told authorities, marking the second mass abduction in the West African nation in less than a week. Abductions of students from schools in northern Nigeria are common and have become a source of concern since 2014, when Islamic extremists kidnapped over 200 schoolgirls in Borno State's Chibok village. In recent years, the abductions have been concentrated in northwestern and central regions, where dozens of armed groups often target villagers and travelers for huge ransoms.
Authorities had said earlier that more than 100 students were taken hostage in the attack. Sani Abdullahi, the head teacher, however, told Kaduna Governor Yuba Sani when he visited the town that the total number of those missing after a headcount was 287. The governor told villagers in the area located 55 miles from the capital, "We will ensure that every child will come back. We are working with the security agencies." No group claimed responsibility for Thursday's attack, though blame fell on armed groups that mostly constitute herders who have been accused of carrying out violent attacks and kidnappings for ransom following decades-long pastoral conflict with host communities. Security forces arrived with the governor several hours later as a search operation widened. while community members and parents gathered to wait for news.
The country's government confirmed on Friday that Australia's Great Barrier Reef is experiencing yet another mass coral bleaching event due to heat. The Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority, which oversees the efforts to preserve and protect the reef, said a widespread bleaching event is unfolding that is consistent with patterns of heat stress that has built up over summer. Scientists with the Australian Institute of Marine Science said that this is the fifth mass bleaching event to hit the Great Barrier Reef since 2016.
Bleaching events are a major threat to the health of coral reefs around the world. Coral bleaching occurs as a result of abnormal conditions, such as when ocean temperatures are unusually warm or cold, or when ocean water is more acidic than normal. In response, corals expel tiny photosynthetic algae that live in their tissues, causing the normally colorful marine invertebrates to turn white. Bleaching does not necessarily kill corals, but the process causes reefs to become more susceptible to disease. Corals can recover from widespread bleaching events, but when they occur frequently, scientists have said it is harder for reefs to bounce back. Studies have shown that climate change is elevating ocean temperatures around the world, making coral bleaching events more frequent.
Ecuadorian President Daniel Noboa has extended a state of emergency in the South American country by 30 days, as his administration grapples with rising violence blamed on drug trafficking gangs. In a decree published near midnight on Thursday, Noboa said an extension was necessary to keep military patrols going in prisons and violent areas of the country, maintain order, and reduce homicides. Noboa originally declared a state of emergency, his first since taking office late last year in early January, amid a spike in violence that saw prison guards taken hostage and the invasion of a TV station by armed men during a live broadcast.
Noboa, the 36-year-old son of one of the country's richest businessmen, has designated 22 gangs as terrorist groups. The decree said, during the state of emergency, intentional homicides have been halved, falling from an average of 24 a day to 12 a day. Noboa's press office said between January and Monday, security forces carried out close to 150,000 operations nationally, arresting more than 11,700 people, including 280 on terrorism charges. 14 alleged criminals have died during operations and 3,300 arms and 64.3 tons of drugs have been seized.
Figure AI, a startup working to build humanoid robots that can perform dangerous and undesirable jobs, just got a big vote of confidence from some of the largest names in artificial intelligence. The company said Thursday that it raised $675 million at a $2.6 billion valuation from investors including Jeff Bezos, Nvidia, and Microsoft. Founded in 2022, Figure AI has developed a general-purpose robot called Figure 01 that looks and moves like a human. Earlier this week, the company released a video showing Figure 01 in action.
The robot, attached to a tether, walks on two legs and uses its 5-fingered hands to pick up a plastic crate, then walks several more steps before placing the box on a conveyor belt. Figure's ultimate aim is for Figure 01 to be able to perform everyday tasks autonomously. The company says getting there will require it to develop more robust AI systems. Meanwhile, Figure is part of a crowded field of companies vying to make humanoid robots a reality. Amazon-backed Agility Robotics plans to open a factory that can produce up to 10,000 of its bipedal digit robots per year. Tesla also trying to build a humanoid robot called Optimus, while robotics company Boston Dynamics has developed several models. Norwegian humanoid robot startup 1X Technologies recently raised $100 million with backing from OpenAI.
The answer for yesterday was C, dominant. The dominant feature of the room was the large fireplace. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama dies at 68. Number 1, Clot, 协议的凝块. He needed emergency surgery to remove a blood clot from his brain. Number 2, Spawn. 引发引起导致造成. The band's album spawned a string of hit singles. Number 3, Depict. 描绘描写. The advertisements depict smoking as glamorous and attractive. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.